Hello and welcome to Filmfolket Podcast. We that speaks today is Göran.
Johannes.
Daniel.
Today's movie is Crossroads from 1986. The movie in brief.
The skilled guitar player Eugene Martone is fascinated with the life of blues legend Robert Leroy Johnson. The story of how he allegedly sold his soul for musical talent and a supposed lost song of his. Searching for the truth of the matter, he tracks down bluesman Willie Brown, a surviving friend of Johnson, and together they journey south, where Eugene learns a whole lot more about the blues, life, and Willie's real reason for going back down to the Crossroads in Mississippi.
That is a good summary. And it feels like we have gotten like two versions. The one that we watched last week, and now this one, and they both have in common is the blues music. And this is a different take on the whole matter.
It's kind of similar if you take away the vampire part. But the vampire part is, they also speak about hell and stuff. So in that sense, it's kind of similar, where the devil is present, or evil was more in the Sinners. But the concept is the same.
In the sense of an evil power being after a skilled musician.
Yeah, exactly.
Essentially, it's more of a road movie. And the supernatural element is a kind of a... I don't want to say it's a side note, but essentially as a cornerstone of the plot, with the reason Willie wants to go there. It's interesting how it's a very important plot point that they resolve very late in the movie.
And it takes quite a while before the audience gets to see exactly why. Because in the later half of the movie, he has nightmares. So I guess that's why he wants peace from that. He can't really get any sleep.
He knows he's old. He knows he's not going to live much longer. So he is haunted by basically the demon pursuing him.
And the fact that he's going to hell because he sold his soul to Satan.
Yes, the classical legend of a musician selling his soul is actually real in this instance, and that's kind of a big deal. The other side of it is how Eugene learns to basically become a genuine blues musician. He starts out as this very skilled, classically trained guitarist, but his knowledge of the blues is more of a fan than a performer. And through Willie, he basically learns to find the heart of it, and that's his journey. And the movie is essentially driven and dominated by this theme.
And when it comes to acting, I think there's some really good acting in this, but I don't really like Ralph's acting. I didn't like it in Karate Kid either.
Yeah, it's Ralph Macchio who played Daniel in Karate Kid.
Yes, and I don't like... what's the musician's name? He has a duel with at the end.
Steve Vai.
I mean, he makes great music, but I don't like his acting. It's making the whole devil part thing kind of silly. How the acting is. It's comedic.
Yeah, he's this over-the-top performer, and it really shows. One thing about that scene that I was thinking about is how essentially when they come up to the end of it and you have Eugene's playing, he falls back on his classical training and does a piece that this devil's guy can't really keep up with. And
I agree with you there, because it's funny how DY, he's using kind of more of a metal blues, and then we have Ralph, and Eugene, he's using blues and classical. So the kind of combining two genres, but
Oh yeah, the basic point there is that the Devil's performer, he's playing what he is able to do because of his own devil steel. But Eugene, he plays the way he does from the heart. He knows what he's doing. He plays what he knows, and that's basically the reason why he wins. His skill isn't artificial.
I mean, I like the nightmare part, especially how it's shot. That when he lies in the bed, the man that comes to visit him is a lot taller than he is. So it makes it a lot frightening.
It's filmed in this really surreal way with the hallway and all that. And they picked a really good guy for it. It's this devil's assistant. He's Joe Morton, who has a very expressive face. He played Miles Dyson in Terminator 2.
all right, that's where I know him from. Yeah, he did a great job. It's really portraying that hellish kind of.
Small role, but he is a really sinister character. He stands out. You also have this devil character. It's played by Robert Judd, who is primarily known for this role, and I think they picked a good guy for it. He looks really sinister with his big row of teeth and everything. He's a very special performance. It's also an interesting detail there that his character, they call him Scratch because it's one of the classical devil's many names, Old Scratch. But he's also known as Legba, which is essentially it's a character from West African Yoruba mythology that carried over into the New World by enslaved people through voodoo and its variant traditions. And is this creature that you invoke at Crossroads. Thing is that in that belief he's more of a grandfatherly guide than a devil figure. So they've kind of meshed those two things together into a more a different kind of belief that I think is actually Germanic in origin.
So technically the assistant should have been that creature or being, if we're talking about guide, because he's the one that guides you to make a deal.
More or less.
I was wondering what could have been done differently and other thoughts.
Someone else could have played Eugene.
Yes, Ralph Macchio has a kind of a, I don't know what to call it. Far be it from me to criticize someone for their flat affect, but I don't think he has a really expressive way of acting.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I mean, I don't hate the person. If it might sound like I hate him, but it's not like that. I just don't think he fits the role, really. Same in Karate Kid, I don't think he's really fitting the role there. I still do like both movies, but yes, I think someone could have done it better, or most people could have done it better.
Yeah, I mean, I have just seen this movie for the first time, so I can't say really if it's good or bad. But I mean,
You're allowed to have an opinion.
But I mean, I look back fondly on like Karate Kid, mostly because of nostalgia, and so I probably looking with nostalgia glasses. But other than that, I mean, this movie was a little bit slow for my taste. But I mean, I guess they were sending a message through this old man that's teaching this old guy how life really is. So I guess that's one of the message with this movie, that life is hard and he having it too good where he is.
Yeah, like the main character has been glorifying the whole blues lifestyle. They never really stopped to think how really hard it was. Where did the songs come from? It didn't come from, they just sat around and wrote the song. Like, they experienced it and then they sang it.
Soulful music that comes from hardship.
Exactly. Since he only read it in the books and from interviews and such, so a little sheltered, and he keeps reminding him all the time that he's a sheltered boy. He should call for mommy to help him or something.
Joe Seneca as Willie, he has this grumpy charm that you have this withdrawn and surly character, but he really comes alive when he plays his music. And that's also a point to that he has a lot on his shoulders, but when he can channel it through his music, he becomes a happy guy. He also had the role of Francis is played by Jamie Gertz, who we also saw as Star in The Lost Boys a while ago. As for what could have been done differently, I think basically what I said before, that the supernatural element of the devil's deal and all of that, and it could have stood to have been built up a lot more. A tension building toward a confrontation, rather than having basically 90% of the movie be this road movie journey with life lessons and that kind of, and because of how Willie's deal and the matter with Legba is the reason that they're there.
Yeah, and the fact that Eugene's growth in this movie, it feels like it doesn't happen anything at all until the very end of the movie. It's bad pacing. They should have paced it better. Like every time they went somewhere and something happened, you should have seen some growth, but they failed to portray that. I mean, they tried, but yeah.
It felt like he was whining more than growing. So I think that was probably a step down with his character development.
I think that some of the pacing issues might come from a matter of budgeting. The movie's budget is actually unknown, but it pulled in about $6 million, which wasn't a lot at all. The movie has become a cult classic among musicians and guitarists in particular, which has kept it around as a phenomenon. But like I said about the pacing, it's often, I think, to do with the budget and basically the pressure to cut and adjust scenes based on expectations and all of that.
I agree with the whole supernatural part. They should have incorporated more scenes with that to build up the whole superstition and stuff.
Yeah, you basically only have these two scenes with, well, maybe three. Willie's flashbacks in black and white, and how he confronts this assistant of Legba's, and later how he has this intense nightmare about it's basically time for him to go. And I don't know, you could have built that up a lot more with more of these scenes to kind of build attention and urgency to the matter. Going over ideas like these, I always have these flashes of, I don't know, not particularly insightful thoughts, but just ideas of how you could maybe adjust things in a remake. And there are a lot of things you could add to this to add to the urgency.
So ideas for next time. I think we were talking about From Dusk to Dawn.
Yeah, to basically round off the theme of what we have here. Having watched Sinners, which deals with the music of the American South and the culture and frictions, so to speak. And you have the matter of the supernatural evils and all of that, and you have Crossroads that deals with a few similar themes, and well, you can see where these things are coming from. So I think it's a good thing.
So we decided to end on a vampire movie, basically.
So I wish you all goodbye for this time. Don't forget to watch, like and subscribe and follow our social. See you next time.
Yeah, goodbye.
Bye-bye.